Well, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to traders around the world. Welcome to your Trading with Z Market Morning. Let's get right into it. I hope folks are doing very, very well. Clearly, the markets did not like what they saw from Tesla and Alphabet yesterday. C'est la vie. That is the way that cookie crumbled. And we're headed down now. So we've got a risk-off start to the market morning. Let's get right into it. Happy Thursday to you too, Michael. Very good morning to everyone writing in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's nice to see so many folks here already, ready to go and get this market morning under our belts. Let's go. All right. Everything that I do and say here, folks, is for education and insight purposes only. It's not meant as advice. I'm not a registered financial advisor or representative. You must consult yours before making any trading decisions. Trading involves risk, not just reward, risk of loss. Trade with money you can wholly afford to lose. When I trade, it's always in line with my risk trading plan, which is unique to me and might not be suitable to you. Consult your registered financial advisor. Get a risk trading plan. Whether I'm discussing past trades taken, doing live trades in front of you, coming up with plans and projections for future potential trades, whether I'm doing so with respect to a live cash account, a demo account, or a prop trading account, I'm doing it for education and insight purposes only. It's not meant as advice. Finally, if I poll you in the chat and I give you an average response back to the poll, the sentiment there is not necessarily indicative of the sentiment of the entire group, just those responding. I don't audit the chat, so do take that stuff as anecdotal. All right, folks, I think I am ready to go. Let's just do a quick AV check, make sure. I should have done that earlier. Let me know that all is good on your end from an AV standpoint. You should be hearing sound all good, image good, screen good. All right, looks good. Everyone's seeing everything good. All right. So let's go. So what I want to do now is just really get into the tone of the market morning, and then what does that mean for day trading as we move through the day, move through the morning in particular. So here we go. So one of the things that I want to start off with just sharing with you is when you're looking at the market, you know the market is priced in currency, the currency that everything touches, every transaction touches. About 85% of every transaction on earth touches the US dollar. So it's about 80 to 85 now. In any case, the other side of the dollar is the euro. When the euro is falling, the dollar rises. Why is the dollar important? Well, it's the denominator of stock price. So you have Apple stock price, dollars on the bottom. If the dollar is strengthening by way of seeing the euro weaken, the dollar is strengthening, it puts a headwind in front of the market, and that's what we have happening right now. The euro is currently down over 1/3%. That is a statistically significant amount. What does this mean? This means it's probably going to put some pressure on the market. But when we look at where the euro is compared to recent lows and compared to historical lows, it has not made the next step down. So the next step down would be traumatic. It's threatening that. So we've got a risk-off start to the morning, driven by a weaker euro, stronger dollar. Well, one of the features, not driven by, one of the features is a stronger dollar, weaker euro. And what is that doing to precious metals? Well, it's taking the shine off of precious metals. Let's go look at precious metals really quick here. So there's gold. It's currently down about 2%. And you would have heard me say, as gold rises to the top of this channel, you heard that yesterday, it's probably time to lock in. Those are the exact words that I used on gold and on silver as well. I also said that, hey, if Tesla and Alphabet and the market all are copacetic, sure, we could look for a breakout trade and we could see a higher high, but I'd rather lock in before the earnings event itself. And silver is down about just shy of 4% at this moment in time. Stronger dollar, headwind to the equity market, weaker precious metals. Is oil up? Is geopolitics also heating up? Is that also adding a negative to the market? Well, let's go take a look at oil. So here we go. So here's the continuous contract. A little stretched, yeah, a little stretched. So certainly a negative. So let's put that into perspective by just taking a quick look-see pre-market. I just want to take a quick look-see at the ETFs to just understand the exact value here. So give me a second here, because that does look like a big jump, and it might be due to continuous contract change. It is probably driven by that, but give me a second here to figure this out, because it's a shockingly large number, and I did not see that in my pre-market assessment, which is happening live with you right now. I started a little late this morning, so give me a second here. So let's go see pre-market. It's up 5% USO. So USO is an ETF that tracks oil. So it's not a 15% jump. This is probably contract change as well. That's probably part of that. But in any case, it's up 5%. Okay, so oil is up 5%. That's a problem. With oil up 5%, geopolitics are hotter, dollar is stronger, precious metals are weaker, crypto is weaker. You can see that Bitcoin has come down about 1.25%, just a little scratch for it. But the most important feature to note is, hey, you've got a stronger dollar and a much stronger value of oil. What has that done to the equity indices? Well, let's go take a look at the S&P E-minis, which I use as our swing barometer. It's the primary market. It's in that uptrend channel, long-term uptrend channel. It tried to get into the uppermost quadrant during the release of earnings yesterday and leading into yesterday. But it was not successful doing so. The market did not like what they saw, and down we've come. We're still in quadrant 3. Let's zoom into the hard right edge over here, but we're down considerably at this moment in time and probably headed towards the center of that long-term channel. So currently down 1.2% at an S&P E-minis level. What's the NASDAQ doing? So we have to understand the interplay between the two. The NASDAQ's probably doing worse than the S&P E-minis and is currently down 1.6%. It's not dramatically worse. It's not dramatically worse, but it is doing a little worse. So it's underperforming. 1.6% down for the NQ, 1.2% down for the ES. So where are they both headed? Well, when we take a look at the NASDAQ, against that long-term uptrend channel, let's just zoom in on that. I'm going to just pull the chart back for a second here so you can see that channel fill in. What you're looking at over here is, again, a channel that we've been operating within and sometimes a little around since October of 2022. Okay, so it goes back quite some time. So it's a fixture in the market. When you look at where we're located right now against this channel, we're in a spot where we're headed down potentially to the center of the channel. So again, not a great start to the day for those who are bullish, but a pretty darn good start for those who are bearish. Can we have a 2-3% down day today? The answer is yes. So, and Frank just filled me in on the headline. 2 oil tankers were attacked in the Red Sea. Okay, that's bad. So oil's up about 5%. Dollar is stronger, close to 1/3%. Precious metals are off, as you saw. Gold down a couple of percent, silver down double that effectively. And you've got the S&P E-minis down 1.5%. And you've got the NASDAQ down 1.6%. So this is a very, very clear risk-off tone. Let's actually add the Russell into the mix over here as well. It can act like a canary in a coal mine. If it's doing the worst of the bunch, that kind of seals the deal that any bounces that we get during the day today are probably going to be sold back down again. And I'm expecting a bounce out of the gates, by the way. So the Russell is down 1.3%. It's not doing worse than the other two overall, right? So the ES is still down about 1.2 roughly, and the NASDAQ 1.6, roughly 1.2. So the Russell is not, falling apart. And there's some good reasons for that as well, based on what's inside the index. But at the end of the day, I would still have to say this is a pretty strong form risk-off presentation to the market morning. Okay, so let's go now and break the charts down a little bit and understand where we're likely headed, where we can bounce up to. So what you're looking at on screen right now is the ES. I want to get the channel lines on here. So let's see. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So if we take a look at where we're headed, it very likely is down here. That does not have to happen today. That's near the bottom of the weekly pivot range. Let's go grab a measuring tool and take a look at from yesterday's close all the way down there. What's that percentage change overall? How big is that? Well, it's about 2%. Is that realistic? Yeah, that's realistic. That can happen. That can be what happens today. Okay, so it doesn't have to, but that's realistic with the risk-off tone that we've got in the market. So all I did was just measure out roughly from yesterday's close to the center of that long-term channel. And again, that's the big channel going back to October of 2022. Okay, let's get that off screen. And just to be clear, though, I think that we're going to get an oversold bounce out of the gates that backs its head up against resistance of the lows from last Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and then back down again. That would be quite the traditional way for this type of a day to play itself out. So from 74.51 up to, call it the 74.70s, 74.80s, and then back down again would be the idea. So we could see a 20, 30 point run up and then a move down. If it wants to directly come down, it will be short-lived and it'll be a V-shaped type bounce intraday. So there's two ways that I see it kind of playing out. And one of the ways is, hey, come back up into this area, then drop. Or if it just decides to fall off a cliff and keep going down, we're probably going to bullseye down somewhere close to the center of that long-term channel, closer to the lower 7400s, and then a V-shaped bounce type up inside the day. Again, back to this area as resistance, and then down again the next day. That would be the idea, at least. So there's two ways that I see it playing out. I think the former is more likely versus the latter. The former is back up, test the underbelly of broken support, which is now resistance, and then down again we go. Let's go see what this looks like for the NASDAQ. So again, the numbers on the ES, 74.50 up towards. It doesn't have to go all the way up towards, It doesn't have to go all the way up to, but 74.80 and then back down again. If it's going to continue to break down from here, which it very easily could, we would want to look for a faster move down that settles in the lower 7400s and then turns back up again. Okay, let's go look at the NASDAQ E-minis. So if we're looking for the directional outcome and the levels for the NASDAQ E-minis, note that it is holding. It's holding, right? The ES is broken down, and it's broken down below a level now that is traumatic to it. Now, it's still in a better position than the NASDAQ is overall when you look at it going back to May, but it's come down below the lows from Friday last week, Monday and Tuesday's lows. It's come down below those lows. The NASDAQ has not. It's in that area, right? So it's in that area. So effectively, we would have to look at really anything at this stage, really anything below 28,700 is problematic. Below 28,700, we've got room down to 28,450. The way that I would see it at this stage is, hey, if we are sitting at 28,700 and change, and the ES is starting its little bounce back up, which is what I'm expecting out of the gates, we probably will back up towards. There's a little volume profile node sitting right there, inflection point right there. Call it 28,830. So there may be a bounce, an oversold bounce of 100, 110 points, and then a move down. If it's going to directly fall apart from here, it just needs to stay below 28,700, and the destination is likely down here. So it's being hammered actually right now. The first 1 minute bar, but it's just started. So let's give it a moment to breathe over here and figure out what it wants to do. I'm going to take you to the live charts on a multi-time frame basis so that we can take a look at this with more granularity. So here we go. So there's your 1 minute chart. A lot of down has already happened. More down can happen. More down is likely to happen, but is it going to be right out of the gates over here, or is it going to be an oversold bounce? Now, what I'm seeing right now is negative enough to say, yeah, this is the case where we could end up just falling off a cliff, but it's still the first 1 minute bar. So I'm going to give it some time to figure itself out. I don't want to jump on the trade right away. We've already been moving down considerably in the overnight session. So take a look at the technical picture here on the daily chart. We are left with a sell signal from this incredible pre-trade conditioning pattern with the triple S indicator, where you have to get at least 3 triangles. We got more, obviously. We're left with a down. Price closed 2 days below the MSR channel. And now we've got the double red dots, and we're back down below the MSR channel. The last line of defense is in the mid 28,400s. Where what I suspect, based on history that I've seen over and over and over again, is that we get an oversold bounce out of the gates. That oversold bounce fails to really materialize into stabilization, and back down we'd go again. So we may be actually seeing a little bit of that right now, because I'm seeing the NQ tick back up above 28,700. So 4-hour chart in a pervasive sell signal state, 1 hour chart in a pervasive sell signal state, stage 3 of this champion trend pack sequence, sell sequence. The 5 minute chart is in a resumption of actually, yeah, we'd have to consider it a resumption because there was a pause over here just ahead of 9 a.m. And then we got another set of breakout forecasters. So it wasn't a resumption short again. Right now it's crawled its way or run its way back up above the speed lines. And the way that I would look at this right now is, hey, I don't really want to go long, but that may actually be what ends up working for a little while until we see this market decide to get sold back down again. I'm actually late in my entry, very late, because I wanted to try a oversold bounce trade. I started blabbing instead of trading, but I'm in the trade now. I wanted to pick it up somewhere around here, but we're still in an oversold bounce. And if it does not sustain above the top of the channel right here, I'll get out of the way and I'll look at buying it above 28,760. We've got a destination of 28,830. So yeah, not interested in staying if it's going to get slammed back down. I'd rather get it now above 28,760. Above 760, we've got room up to about 830, roughly the 810 to 830-ish area. It's not going to be a fun ride. It's going to be a volatile ride, as you just saw. So we'll give it a moment to breathe. Now, if this thing does fall apart from here, we need to know exactly what the lines levels are for it to fall apart. And at this stage, I'm looking at another screen. We've got a bunch of positive divergences locked in at the low of the first bar, the first 1 minute bar. And we're still in the first 5 minute bar as we speak right now. So it would have to be below the low that we get our signal. When you have a bunch of positive divergences in place, let's see if I can just show this to you real quick. Hold on a second over here. There's a few more tools on this chart, so I don't want to really bring too much up here, but let's just get that on the screen so you can see it. So see that green line? There's a low, there's a lower low. The lower low was made with less strength. It doesn't deserve to stay down there. It's a positive divergence. If we come down below that low, that's where one would be looking for a market that is going to fall off a cliff. So I've re-entered the trade. I decided to do it as it's approaching the top of the MSR channel again. So I'm having another whack at it here. It's early. Again, I think it's early. But I think that the oversold bounce that you heard me call out before the open, which I think is the likelier outcome, is still the likelier outcome. There's some risk right here at the champion trend sell zone trail line, but we just perforated it right there. So, I like taking profit along the ride. I'm obviously well above the 10-second time frame, so I'm going to watch it carefully here. If it decides to go red and starts falling back towards my entry, I'm going to get out of the trade. Otherwise, I'm going to stay in the trade, and then I'm going to get out of the trade. Did exactly what I just said. Now I'm going to get back into the trade if I see this bar, really accelerate, or if I see this bar be indecisive and the next bar opens up green and runs. So at this stage, it's just a waiting moment for me. And remember, we've got range up to about 28,830. That's the next logical area where price action is likely going to stop. We've divined that already. I'm not going to bring that back up. I don't want to distract from my entry here. So we've got indecision. It's trying to run up right now. The bar's life is almost over. If the next bar opens up green and starts to run, I'm interested in getting into this oversold bounce trade. It's a high risk trade. It didn't open up green. It didn't run. I'm not in the trade. Now, have to, of course, consider short. There's a lot of places where one could get back into a short, but just remember, we've been selling down all overnight pre-market. Okay, and the earnings didn't go well. Market's response to the earnings didn't go well yesterday. So I rather would play out the oversold bounce until it's done, until we know it's failed, until we know the market, which we think the market is going to have less of a chance to stabilize. So I'm going to try it again right here. I'm in. I think I got in a little later than I wanted to, but not by a tremendous amount. So I got in at 70. I wanted to get in closer to 60, 63, but I'm here. So now we're in a profit positive position again on this trade. In advance of any of this happening, you heard me call out to you what's likely to happen out of the gates, where we're likely going to head up towards If you got the message in advance and happen to also be trading it, let me know with the lucky number 7 in the chat. If you got the message and you're seeing in advance, the insight was provided to you, the opportunity was provided. I executed. My first trade was garbage. My next 2 trades seemingly have gone very, very well. And admittedly, the first trade that I took was, I said it to you, this is a very risky situation, right? I like taking profit along the ride, so that's what I'm doing. Where's the next opportunity area? Well, we're coming up towards 800 round number. It's above 806, 807 that I'd be interested in taking it. So we just poked above, we just hit 807, and I'm considering a re-entry right now. I'm going to wait for this bar to actually close, and I want to revisit where the market is likely to go. Is it just 830 or is it higher than that? That's what I want to figure out as we're speaking right now. So bear with me for a moment over here. I need to get. Actually, we've already run, so I'm gonna get in right now and just focus on managing this. Apologies if I'm not keeping my eye on the chat right now, but my focus is to execute. Okay, so indecision, slow down, don't like that. Impulse to buy is still there, but no, it's breaching. I'm seeing that on another screen. So no, I'm gonna bug out. It's probably gonna bounce off of the speed lines, but I'm not interested in being in the trade because this is a very risky situation, right? You look at the 5-minute chart, okay? We're still in a sell signal state, right? All we've done is come up and poke our hairs above the top of the champion trend sell zone trail line and the champion cross sell zone. We've ended a sell sequence. We've seen an absence of 2 to 3 bars with no breakout forecasters. Those are the dashes above the price action. And then we've had a bullish speed line cross. But we're in a pervasive, well-aligned sell signal state. So a resumption down can happen at any given time. And we have come very darn near close to the target area that I identified for you in advance before 9:30, right? You heard me say, hey, I think we've got 100, 110 points of potential upside. We were at 28,710 at that moment in time when I was diagnosing it. And we've seen the majority of that transpire. So it's happened. Now the question mark is it going to continue? Because what typically happens after a big sell down in pre-market with the configuration that the market has, right? Stronger dollar, stronger oil, weaker precious metals, higher yields, all that kind of stuff. What typically happens is the market will have an oversold bounce. Shorts get out of the way. They wait to see the market try to get back its footing. And when it fails to get its footing, that's when, the shorts come right back onto the table again. So I've re-entered. I'm trying to capture just a little bit more of this move up to 830, 840, maybe. It is profit positive slightly, now kind of flat. I'll leave it in play for now. That's okay. I'll leave it in play, but if it goes below the speed lines, I don't want to be in the trade. So what I want to do, though, is I definitely want to have a quick look-see inside the daily chart at my 5-minute chart here to understand where are the next little minor structures of resistance. So I'm just getting that teed up on another screen, and I'll bring that to you in just a moment here. We're at one now, which is what we diagnosed already, right? We diagnosed the 830-ish area. 810 to 830 is what you heard me say, I think. But 830 I was mentioned a couple of times. That's the inflection point right around here. So it's actually, now that I look at it with more granularity, it's actually 840. 840 is the number. And then the next node is effectively 870. So let's see if this thing can, pull its pants up to, 840 to 870. That would be a good chunk. And then we're coming into the underbelly of the mattress, the center of the weekly pivot levels. And I don't really want to be in any longs if we're approaching that number. So 840 to 870. Let's see if that works. We're getting these little spikes up, as you saw, and then, draws back. Don't like that. I want to see it continue, but obviously it's trying to chip away at resistance on that 5-minute chart. Remember, I'm trading the 5-minute chart. I'm using the 1-minute chart as my execution mechanism, my triggering mechanism. We're coming into the bottom of the MSR channel. Guess what? I'm gonna, take my profit right over here. What's the number? 840, right? Exactly where I discussed we're likely to the next move up into. Now above 840, it's 870, and it can happen really quick. I might not be on the ride. For those who are still on the ride, good for you. Let me know if this is working for you this market morning. Share with me in the chat. You can just type the letter Y in or lucky number 7 and let me know. Hey, Jimmy, happy birthday to you. Well, happy belated, I guess. So that's good. For those who took the trade, for those who are in it, you're seeing it happen right here. You saw me take it several times along the way, successfully now. And the question mark now should still be, where are we headed up to? We are headed up to the bottom of the mattress. Okay, we just hit 870. It's continuing. And what I hope, the value that I brought to you before the open is setting an expectation for how the market's likely going to play out, and then picking a lane, literally saying, I think it'll go up. Here's why. Okay. But it can play out the other way as well. So I'm going to be objective and give you both sides of it. Again, that same objectivity, that same process is being put in play right now. And what you're hearing from me is, I don't want to be in this trade long anymore. I'm not in it right now. As we approach 28,913, there be danger. And I don't want to, expose myself to that, because we can get whipsawed very quickly. Okay, so I'm going to flip the view over here back to the hourly chart. Look at where the hourly chart is rising into. Note that it's in a sell signal state, right? Nothing has changed about that. It's in a sell signal. It's simply coming up to test the fast speed line from underneath, which is resistance. This is not in a kill zone. This is in a very pervasive sell signal state, right? We're in stage 3 of the champion trend pack sequence of sell signals. And if you look carefully as well for triple S students, what do you see here, folks? Triple S students, let me know. What is this? What pattern is this? One down, one up, one down. And this is on the hourly chart. It's very similar to what you saw or what you're seeing on the daily chart. That's right. It's pre-trade conditioning. So the pre-trade conditioning pattern is a very high probability pattern. It's one of the highest probability patterns out there using technical tools. You have a down, you have an up, you have a down. They're not separated by more than 6 bars. You have at least 3 signals. Then you have price action coming down below the MSR channel for 2 bars. Is the pattern fully engaged? Well, we have 1 bar beyond the signal bar below the MSR channel bottom. I don't have the double red dots above price action. So I don't know that it's going to just, be this very high probability moment until I have at least 2 bars moving lower sequentially, okay, one after the other, and on closed bars, or 1 bar with the double red dots, kind of like you have the double green dots, the double red dots above the bar. I don't have that yet. So the pattern is in formation. It's not triggerable on an hourly chart just yet. So if I wanted to pick a moment where I take the trade and I hold it for hours, now is not the time. And I knew that before the open. Right? I knew that before the open. So right over here, the longs that I took on, you saw me take them on with careful consideration, gave you the insight in advance. It worked out well. Now, you then heard me say, well, look, I want to get off this trade. I think we're going to come up to 840 to 870. We did the work, right? I got that granularity on the screen for you. We've identified the nodes, and look at where we stopped. Okay, it's almost perfect in terms of how it's working with volume profile and, of course, the technical signals. The technical signals on the 1-minute chart are in a buy state. We saw that. The technical signals on the 5-minute chart, 1-hour chart are in a sell state, and we're respecting the boundaries. The fast speed line on the hourly chart has been slightly perforated, but we got batted back down from there. when we take a look at the 5-minute chart, we have gotten stuck in the MSR channel. And note that the channel has gone from green to magenta. What does that mean? Well, it means that we are in technical damage at this moment in time. So, absolutely a situation where it's evident, it's clear what's going on here. Bear with me for a second here. I've got to click some buttons on another screen. Again, apologies, I haven't been paying as much attention to the chat. I'll get that focused on my screen in just a second here as well. So I'm seeing some great comments in the chat in terms of how folks are doing, which is amazing. I'm super happy to hear that. That's amazing. So for those that are watching in and trading alongside and are doing fairly well here, amazing. I'm glad to hear it. Now the question mark is, are we moving back into a short side signal state on the 1-minute chart? We know that we're in a short or sell signal state on a 5-minute chart, 1-hour chart, 4-hour chart, daily chart. Okay, we've come right up to the area that we thought we'd come up to, and we're getting whacked back down. And I'm sitting back going, was that it? Because that was not enough to say the market's trying to show it's stabilizing. I don't think that's it. I think we're going to get another bounce. Getting back up in towards, if you take a look at the damage that's been done, and we can also employ Leonardo da Pisa's mathematical genius of the Fibonacci retracement, and we can put that into the mix over here. Coming back up towards 975 to 950, maybe a little lower, but let's actually just rough it in here real quick. So what I'm going to do is just grab a Fibo retracement, put that on the chart from from the top to the drop, and yeah, we should be able to see. This is roughly the 50% retracement marker. That's what typically happens. We come back up almost halfway, and then it fails. But it seemingly is failing now, right? We're back down from 870 down to 750, and I'm not short, so I'm kicking myself a little bit right now. But typical pattern. But we got the first move right. Okay, we got the exact location. The drop that's happened right now, I have not partaken in. And those who have, kudos to you. What I want to just stress at this moment is typically we will approach the 50% retracement marker. We approach the 38.2% retracement marker. Typically we'll approach the 50% retracement marker, and then this thing will come unglued again, likely. If it's going to come unglued again right now, we're in the right location for it to continue dropping. So I can't argue with that. So let's just get zoomed back in on this again and decide what to do here. If things are truly going to turn back into a nasty little sell state, we do have the champion trend indicator. The sell zone plaque is in place. The champion cross stayed in a sell signal state. It's trying to expand again. But I'll tell you, this is not trader's intuition. This is just statistical bias. Statistical bias tells me it's going to try again to rise. It's going to try to go up to the 50% retracement marker. I'm not going to get long here, though. I'll tell you that right now. If I'm going to get long, it'll have to be above 800. And that might come soon. That might be coming to a theater near you. So we'll see. Getting to the 50% retracement marker is a high probability outcome in a drop of this nature with the configuration of the market in this risk-off tone, where you've got stronger dollar, higher yields, weaker precious metals, and to boot, higher value of oil. Now, if that does not materialize, where do I want to short this bad boy? Probably going to wait for 700 at this stage. And I know that's going to be late, but I want to see my indicator on the 1-minute time frame move into a sell before I short it. So now we've got a sell zone from the champion trend indicator coming in play. we're getting closer and closer to 700. And hey, I might end up having to, flip my script and say, down it goes. My suspicion is it's going to try for another bounce. That's my suspicion. So I'm just waiting patiently right now to see what I can get. Could I just put myself into a short right now as a tester? Yeah, but I don't think it's worthwhile at this stage. I missed that move, admittedly. Got this move. And again, coming to you with the same objectivity, saying, hey, the market is very likely going to make that move back up to that 50% retracement marker. And that, again, is, from my perspective, a high probability. And Gordon, hey, you and me are both in the same camp, I guess, right? It is a good place for a bounce, that's for sure. Well, will it bounce? That's a different question. So let's see if we get something here. We've got technical damage on the 1 minute chart. That's clear with the channel as such. We're in a sell signal state that's very new, that got reinforced, but we know the 1 minute chart's flimsy. The 5 minute chart did move back into a sell signal state. So that's kind of flying in the face of what I'm asserting to you right now. So I'm caught in the crossfire between the statistical bias to come up further and break through the bottom lip of the mattress, that 913-ish area, and come up into the upper 900s. Right? The idea would be somewhere in and around here. Somewhere in and around here. Call it 28,000. We'll just call it 29,000. Now, somewhere in and around here would be what I would be leaning towards. And if it materializes, I'm going to jump on it. So we're getting closer and closer to getting up above the MSR channel. It's a high risk decision to try to take the long here. I'm going to try one because I think it can run and get sucked right back up to the champion trend sell zone trail line, and trades profit positive. So that's good. Well, let's see if it stays that way. It can get whack-a-mole at any moment, just like that. So be careful. Okay, I like profit, so I'm going to take profit right now. It's going to make another move up. As it's coming up, folks, tighten up stops towards the 840 area. We've already done the work. We know where 840 is. Okay, so it's going to continue very likely. 840 is that inflection area, the hollow area in the volume profile histogram right there. So it's that hollow area in the volume profile histogram. Okay, and it's not that far away from it. Got into the mid 30s. Above 840, I'm going to probably want to jump on the long again if it's able to get back up above there, to take it up to 870. And the next approach to 870 should be a breach and a break. It should be, not will be. Okay, did anyone else get a alongside trade out of this? Let me know. And again, I'm playing the same theme. Sharon, that's awesome. Bill, awesome. Fuad, yeah. Gus, you got it. Angel, amazing. Nelson, Rich, Don, Sultan, Hearth. Oh my God, everyone's kind of coming in. That's amazing. Let's see. I just want to see if this works. And exactly, the Fuad, the echo analogy, right? The aftershock. This is the reverse of that on the way back up, right? And Ted, that's a great comment. Is it okay if I read that out, Ted G? Is it okay if I just read that out to the group? You let me know. Oh, thank you. Okay, so Ted just writes in, I'm just watching. Don't want to lose my gains from earlier. That's a decisive, action to choose to say, hey, I've done well already. This is a high risk counter trend bounce against the primary selling. So he doesn't want to trade it. I respect that. And Siraj says, agreed with Ted, 100%. Sorry, I didn't ask if I could read it out, but I assume it was okay. But there you go. It's exactly, Sharon, exactly right? Just taking little snipes at it makes more sense, right? We came up. I was expecting another breach of 840, but the sell signal state that we're in right now, I have to respect that. We're in a champion trend sell. Champion cross is kind of on and off. It's in a sell now. And look, if this thing wants to break down, it's coming back down towards the lows. So if it breaks this low right over here at around 715, well, I can take a short down to the lows, or I could wait for the lows to break. Either or. The risk over here is whipsaw. Now, I don't want to bias you or myself. Now, statistics tell me we're going to make another move up, very likely. And we're going to get to a higher high. Technical signals in the now, they're saying, what you talking about, Willis, right? It's not likely going to work. It's saying down, 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 it's going to go. So if we end up breaching the low, which we just did, I'll take the short. I want you to know that I'm not biasing myself because of the statistical likely outcome. Now, I can choose to short it here, which I did, or I could wait for the low to be breached. Now, again, I want to be very careful with the trade because my indicator on a 1-minute chart has not flipped into a sell signal state. It's about to, potentially. Wealth signal is there. Champion cross is there. Champion trend is there. Wealth signal is tentative. So I would just simply keep my finger on the trigger to escape if it does not work here. And there is a set of divergences, exactly, Fuad. My finger's on the trigger to escape because I'm not seeing it work, and I'm losing on this trade. And if this bar goes green, I'm out. Had to take a little L on that one. And that's okay. Are we just resetting for a bounce that's going to be stronger? Like we had one kick at it again here, right? The bounce out of the gates, we nailed that. Call that. Came up to exactly where we thought it would. Okay, came back down. I didn't catch that move. The next bounce up, caught that move. Okay, but it didn't follow through. It did get up to, about the 840 area, say for a handful of points. Got up to 835, but didn't follow through. And now the attempt to break back down to the lows faltered on the last closed 1-minute bar. Now we're coming into the change of the hour. My bet again is that it's going to try to give us another bounce up. Where do I take it is the question. And if I want to short again now, I think I'm going to wait for the lows to be breached or some serious acceleration down to the lows. And Don, that's a good point. Crude is at highs, so that's going to obviously add pressure. I'm taking a very high risk long. I'm seeing some acceleration on this bar. I'm above the 715 marker, which was the support line that I said I would rather be long above. Okay, so I'm rising into falling resistance. So I'm going to be much more prone to take profits sooner than later, like right now, which I just did. We get above the top of the MSR channel, 787, or even above the center, 771. I could try it. I'm going to probably wait for the former. So for folks who are listening in right now, we're dealing with a market that is in an oversold state, where in the pre-market, we assess the configuration of the market suggests that we're going to come down and make lower lows as we move through the day. But as we move into the open, we are more likely going to get an oversold bounce. We qualified where that bounce would come up to. We, before the market opened, we were sitting at around 710 points, 28,710, pretty much where we are now. And we assessed that it was likely going to be between 100, 120 points of a rise, take us up to about the 830 area. We got more granular with it as the move was happening, and we used volume profile. We got an idea of 840 to 870 as the target area. And you can see that we got up to 880, actually, slightly above there. So it was a perfect call. And then we came down quite rapidly. Now the move down should have been expected. I didn't trade it on the move down. I did catch the next little bounce up, which is like an echo, like you were saying, Fuad. But what I know, and we put the Fibbo retracements on the screen, what I know is that we are in a market that has the configuration and the statistical backing to make a move to a higher point than the 880 or 870 area, effectively coming up into this territory, the 950 to 970-ish area. And that would be a market that's trying to tell you it wants to stabilize, but the net negative energy is still going to be greater than positive, even if we get up to that area, which is about a 50% retracement line, and we should roll back down again from there. So again, to make it as simple as possible, I think we're going to get a bounce. I think the bounce is going to take us to a higher high than the highs that we had up here. And if that plan does not work out, if that's not how the market plays out, shorting should be fairly clear, especially below the lows. It could be anywhere below 700, or we can wait for the lows at around the 650, 660 area. If that plan is clear, let me know. Just type the letter Y in the chat. And ES traders certainly do not want to leave you behind. So I'll just do a quick workup for you right now. So right over here, bottom of the MSR channel has been breached on the daily chart. Very negative. It's opening the door for more of a spill, right? 4-hour charts under resistance. The idea here is a bounce back up to the fast speed line on the 4-hour chart, which is around 74.80 to 74.85, which is a slow speed line on the hourly chart. It's a counter trend bounce up to falling resistance where we should then fail. We should then fail. In fact, I'm seeing enough right now to try a long. I'm in one right now. I want to see if I can get something more out of it. Let's see. There we go. There we go. There we go. And it's not holding. So I'm taking profit sooner than later. Above the top of the MSR channel, I'll be willing to try it again. And for the NQ traders, I know we've been really focused on the NQ. I just want to do, provide the service on both sides here. I think I would wait for 65 to 67 for the next long on the ES, and target area is 80 to 85. Okay, so what about the NQ? I can try the long above 780 to play it back up to 840 to 870. Everyone keeping in control of themselves right now, let me know. I want to make sure that you're not harming yourself here, and you're making decisions that you have a good control of. Okay, here we go. I'm going to try to buy the accelerative breach above. And by the way, the ES is at 66, 67 almost right now. Okay, so it's getting closer and closer to execution there. Looks like folks are keeping themselves under control, which is great. I'm happy to hear that. Good on you. We've got a very large audience this morning. My goodness, it's growing each day. Okay, well, that's, I guess, a good thing. All right, trade's making sense. You've heard the logic already. It's not going to be a smooth ride. So the tendency to want to take profits sooner is a good bias to have in this market environment. Hey, look, trade's gone wrong on me now. I'm still holding it until I see some damage that, says a real turn is going to come into play, because we are in a sell signal state. We know that already. We know it's very risky. And look, if this is a lower high and this bar starts to slip and go red and break the center of the channel, we might not be lifting off. Again, statistically, we're likely to come up again. Five-minute charts obviously going to be struggling, right? There's technical damage and a sell signal state, right? And I'm playing the statistical makeup of the market, which I might not end up winning on here. So I have to be very, very careful about it. But look, you're given a market, and I'm here to work with what I've got at a market level from the open. And I have to use a confluence of strategies and tools to decide what to do. And if it doesn't work and we end up just being choppy here, holding around the lows, there's not going to be much trading to do. But I'm giving you my best in terms of insight. And now I'm going to have to decide whether I want to, keep pressing on here. Looks like it wants to work. Hard for me to want to add to this trade. It's hard to even hold it. And that's not good. That's not good. That bearish reversal is not good. So I got out of the way well before the lower half of this happened. Now the question is short, short, short. Like I said, 700 or the lows. 700 or the lows. And the ES failed to get above 67, right? Right at that spot, failure happened, failed. So now I'm going to flip my script. If we go below 700, I'm going to try a short below 700, and then I'm going to try to build it below the lows. If this is all the market can give us for this oversold bounce, so be it. All right, tried twice, it's failed. Well, I tried 3 times actually, and each time was a lower high. All right, so I'm a little late in my entry. I shoulda, woulda, coulda, don't really matter, but I was about 20 points late, unfortunately. So I still decided to jump in, but I'll have to pay the price of, hey, some red in the account if, yeah, that's where I want to enter, where we are right now. So that begs the question, should I try it again? If this bar goes green and starts running up, I have no business being in the short. Right? It's just another attempt at coming back up. If I want to take the short, I'm going to try to catch it again on the way down below, right around the 700 marker. If I see this thing running up again, do I want to get long here? No. It could still work. It could end up being even a lower high and then just getting slammed down. I'm going to wait for some evidence that we can make a higher high versus the last local high. So 800. I know that's a lot of points to leave on the table, but with this market, that's okay. Above 800, there could be another 150, 170 points of upside. Below 700, we could be coming down to make lower lows, and we have to establish where we're headed down to, which I think we did in the pre-market briefing that I gave you. I said eventually the idea is coming down to 28,450. And Bob M, you're asking, are you using the supercharged CTP, WC? I'm not using, so I'm using that on another screen. That's a lot of indications. The TSP is the Triple S indicator package. The ITP is Rob's institutional trader package. The TRP is the trader rescue package. So those are all add-ons on top of what you get with Wealth Charts, which is the Champion Trend Pack. So I am using all of them in conjunction with each other off screen. But it's way too much to communicate at this moment with so many new folks in. The one that is on screen for you right now, I can give you a layout code for. It includes the Triple S indicator, the Champion Trend Pack, the MSR channel, the speed lines, that kind of thing. So you let me know if you want a layout code for that, Bob. And of course, from 11 to 11:30 each day, you'll always have time to ask questions. and we can do the admin and that kind of stuff at that time. Right now, I want to stay focused on the trading. And of course, I can show you how to import it as well. It's all super easy. So I'm waiting right now to see what I can get. So things have slowed down. The market's trying to, it's deliberating right now whether or not it wants to make this move a reality or not. We'll see. ES is headed back up to 65. The long is above 66 at this stage on the ES. On the NQ, the long is above 75. 775, 780. Or wait for the local high to be breached, because this could just be, what's Rob saying on this one? Skipping rock, where you skip the rock, it has a big bounce, then it's a smaller bounce, then it's a smaller bounce, then it's a smaller bounce, and then it submerges and goes underwater, right? So that's something to watch out. And that's exactly correct, Naveed. This is the Champion Trend Pack Toolkit. I also have my proprietary indicator added on to this, right? I also have my proprietary indicator added onto this, which is the triple S. So you've got the Champion Trend Indicator. Okay, that's the plaque with the trail line. Okay, and I've got then the Champion Cross Indicator, which is the more opaque zone in the background there with the dot at the bottom of the main chart. Okay, then of course we've got Wealth Signal, which is the orange ball above or below price, remarking stage 2 of the Champion Trend Pack sequence. Stage 1 is remarked with Champion Trend and Champion Cross on the last closed bar. Then there's Wealth Signal for stage 2. Sometimes if it's a resumption, it's the range breaker, which is the cyan ball above price. And then when we get to the third stage of the sequence, it's the breakout forecasters. You need at least 2 to be in that stage 3. And then I've got the triple S indicator, which is the double dots, green or red, and single blue dots to tell you the directionality is cooling off. And of course, the up or down triangle, right? We're in an up triangle on a 1-minute chart, but we're seeing the single blue dots appear. And we're in a sell signal state with the Champion Trend Pack Toolkit. And we just got a range breaker. We're also getting a wealth signal tentatively. It's not looking good for up, and we're just below the 700 marker. This is where I said I'd try to short it again, but it's had ample opportunity to come down, right? Going back about a half dozen minutes now, and it hasn't. So I'm not taking the short. It just doesn't make sense. We'll have to break at least the low here, which is now very close to the cash session low, which is the first 1-minute bar, for me to want to short it. To further answer the question, I've got the speed lines. As you can see, Rob, speed lines are there. Okay. I've got volume at the bottom of the screen on the main chart. And I've got the MSR channel's technical damage version. Okay. It's not technically damaged anymore. We're coming down again, or trying to. If we come down below the low, right in and around 675, I will try to short it. I want to wait for my indicator to be in a sell signal state. That would be at least on a 1-minute chart, and it's not there right now. But you can't argue with skipping rock theory, right? These are lower bounces, lower highs. Clearly, there's some demand near the cash session lows, but hey, I'm going to go with the flow here. So Jeff W Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. Um, it's knowing your way around the neighborhood. It's indications on the discrete securities and markets that we're looking at. It's intermarket relationships. It's cross-asset relationships. So, it takes a little time to put the full picture together. But as you can tell, you can use a set of indicators to help with, very quick decisions. I cater to all the way down to the millisecond scalper, all the way to the asset allocator, and I have portfolio strategy as well. But the idea of what we're doing here is we're trying to learn and earn, and day trading is a more, let's just say, lively way to get the tools under your belt. Okay, so right now, and what I typically see is students that are starting from scratch on this get saturated with the ability to find a setup and execute on setups and be able to be better than 50-50, usually somewhere between the 6 to 8 month mark. Females tend to do it a little earlier than males. But there's my answer. And Suraj, yeah, I do have a business degree, economics, finance. There's a little psychology in there as well. And I did run divisions for bigger companies like General Mills and Maple Leaf Foods, consumer packaged goods companies, in their business management and marketing side, and even on the sales side as well, too. That's a long time ago now. I started doing this around 2008 for myself personally, and then publicly around 2011. It's still hanging out above this floor. Is it dangling, waiting to just drop? Or is it building a base to go up? Based on how oversold we are, based on the statistical nature of oversold markets with risk-off configuration, where you've got a drop of more than 1% before the open, we're going to get a bounce that tries to retrace half. And we called out the move out of the open. We got it, but the echo, as you said, Fuad, was softer and softer and softer, and now we're just hovering above a floor where if we chip away at it, it'll be a whoosh. So I want to be able to capture that short if that's the case. I'm going to zoom in on this again here. And we, of course, have a fairly well-aligned signal state. It's actually perfectly aligned. 5-minute charts in a sell signal state, double red dots from the triple S tool, fast speed lines below the slow, all that's there, right? But take a look at my indicator. The way this indicator works is the lower half is homeland. White line divides this 4-quadrant channel in half. And the bottom half of the channel is homeland. The upper half is enemy territory. Okay, when we have a campaign launched, the soldiers are the red line, the generals are the white dashed line over here, and the king and the queen is the blue line. So for triple S students, for folks who have that indicator, what's the narrative? Well, we already conquered a bunch of land for the king and the queen. They already went on a victory tour, an extended victory tour. Perhaps the generals are going to send the soldiers up to grab the king and the queen, which is that slow momentum line, that blue line, and bring them back to the safety of homeland, which is what I'm estimating as the likely outcome. So I'm looking for a move that can take us back up, and back up to where? Well, let's just be very, very clear about that. Okay. Right. The initial move was very clear, where we got the bounce. We got the exact location effectively. If we bounce here, the idea would be we come up in towards 29,000, maybe even a little higher. So there's a lot of points on the table on the long side, while we're in a market that's signaled on the short side. So we're aware of that. Okay, I'm going to get back down into a 1-minute chart. It's very difficult to want to take a long here, but I'm introducing the idea of what typically happens statistically for the market, in this configuration. And, even down to a 1 minute chart, I don't have what I need, to say we're in a buy signal state and all is good. So it's a very difficult endeavor, but if we breach the top, I'm taking another swing at this right here. Can this be the one that takes out the last high and takes us up? So I'm going to just dip my toe in, try it. I want to stay very close to the trade. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Where do I know it's not working? Below the center of the MSR channel, below the speed lines. I don't know if I'm going to wait that long. But things are going well. We're getting a bounce. Let's see if it stays in play. I haven't taken profit yet because this is a tester. I'd like to be able to build the trade. But it's not really giving me enough. Now it's not in profit. There's no profit now. It's a loss situation now. And I think I've waited for that test of that slow speed line. Okay, let's see what happens here. I don't like what I'm seeing right now. But again, I have to say, in an oversold market of this nature, it's had ample opportunity to come down and break down. It could still very easily do that. We're well aligned in sell signals. So I'm very open-minded for that to be what I end up having to do. And again, the high here was slightly higher than the past high. I've held this trade for too long and it's not worked out. I'm going to give it a little bit more on this bar, but nope, no thank you. So it is just not willing to get off the mat and go. Okay. If it succumbs to a lower low than the low right over here, 677, 675, I will get out of the way. I will not get out of the way. I'll get into a short is what I'm saying. Okay, it's trying to come unglued. Let's see if this works. I'm getting a funny message from someone on the team. Many of you will know Sean, of course, if you were at the summit last week. And he's asking me a funny question exactly at a time where he probably knows I'm sitting back waiting for the next move, just literally waiting. I'm not going to tell you what candle it is in the background, Sean. How's that? If you're listening in, let me know. All right, let's keep going here and see if we get that break back up above. And again, I'm not biased to having to trade long. I am just working the stats as they are. If we end up coming up above the last high here, I will again try another long. If we come down below 675, I will try a short. So I know, folks, when things start to slow down like this, it gets a little frustrating. So the value that I can add to your trading life right now is just take a breath. Make sure you know what your plan is. Okay, and the plan should be straightforward. Below 675, or wait for the low. It becomes a short. Potential for a long above 780. And if we take a look at the ES, for ES traders, what's the plan over there? I think it's fairly straightforward. It's either a short below the low of the last closed 5-minute bar, which is below 74.50, or wait for 74.45, which is the low of the last closed hourly bar. So it's either 74.50 short below or 74.45. The latter of the two would be the cleaner, short entry. All right, you can see it right there. 9:30 a.m. low, first 5-minute bar. So let's do a little poll of the rooms right now and get a sense in the room which way do you think this is going to go. Lucky number 7 for up, unlucky number 6 for down. Okay, so you let me know in the chat. Take a moment. What I'm doing is not trying to collect a sentiment. I'm trying to make sure that you're engaged. Make sure that if you're trading this, you're going to have to pick a lane at some point. Like I'm agnostic on direction until I've got a breach of 780 to the upside for long, or below 675 for short. So, and we're talking about the next move. Travolta from Pulp Fiction. That's one of my favorite movies. Okay, so the sum weight of the votes are leaning to down, which makes sense. It's about 70-50. Yes, some folks are putting Pulp Fiction sayings into the chat. So you remember that movie, Tom? I'm pretty sure it's very, very popular. Oh, that's a good point, Brian. Thank you. I wasn't watching time. Now, 10:30. Let's see if that mechanical change. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Another attempt to lift off. Is this going to be the one? Who knows? So again, the poll that we just did was one where I asked you, hey, if you think it's going to go down as the next move or up. We have not had the move actually happen. We're likely going up if we break 780. We're likely going down if we break 675. And from an ES standpoint, if we come down below 74.50, we're likely going down. If we come up above 74.63, we're likely going up. I agree. It is very, very shifty. I just added an S in there, an F in your comment. I know what you said, but I'm going to say shifty. How's that? Yes. We can have fun while we're waiting, but let's not let that distract us. The objective is focus on what the next trade can be. I've already determined my markers. 28,780 breaches, I go long. 28,675 breaches, I go short. Everything in between, well, I don't want to be in this mess. And Sleepy Trader, exactly right. That it's 74.50 with confirmation below 45, which is the obvious, the low at the 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time bar, right? And each time we've come down to it, we've held, right? So this is a very slow erosion, and then will lead to a whoosh down, which is what the group voted on when I asked, 7 or 6. It was a 70-30 split, leaning to 6 from the chat. So we'll see. I'm going to just be agnostic about it until we break down or break out. And Tom, you're right. Coiling until the coil breaks, right? Okay, getting closer to the short side trade. Fingers on the trigger. Executed. If it starts ripping right back up, bad execution, and I get out of the way. If it follows through to the downside directly on this bar, I'm good to go and maybe build the trade. I'm not going to stay in it if it bounces back up. It's still thinking about it. It can still materialize. I'm going to wait to see it breach again. Right? It did breach the low point of that bar at 10:09, but it didn't sustain below it. Now I just need to see it sustain. Okay, it's doing it again. I'm in. Now, we'll have some good confirmation if it ends up coming down below the low, 655 roughly. But we breached the 75 line. Let's see if it comes down and breaches the 655 line. It just did. Lower low's been made. Trade is profit positive. Been in it for 22 seconds. And I'm going to take a little profit right here, right now. And I'm going to re-enter the trade shortly after I see what? What do I need to see at this stage for the next entry? So I'm just going to go to my more plain clothes chart here, pull it back a little bit, make sure I've got my volume profile history all set up well. Okay, that's good. It really is around 640 to 630. And then that takes us to 600. I'm going to get a little more history dialed in here. Yeah, it is 640. For the ES, it is 45, right? We're at 47 right now. So it is the low. Come down below the low of the last closed 1 minute bar, and I go again. And the trade is potentially a 40-point trade down to the next node of support, sitting at 28,600. Well-aligned sell signal state, by and large. A little confusion on the 1 minute chart, but by and large, well-aligned sell signal state from an hour time, from a daily time frame down even. The hourly charts in stage 3 of the sequence, double red dots are there. On the current bar, 2 bars are sequentially closed below, the MSR channel. Pre-trade conditioning is in. So it's hard to argue with that at this stage. That is a high probability pattern for my toolkit. The oversold bounce was attempted. It failed. Oversold bounce 1, good. I was looking for an echo that was stronger. Failed. It failed. It failed. It tried to get back its footing, but failed, and then broke down to a lower low. And now we're not whooshing. we had a couple of bars of fairly decent drop from 715 down to 640, and now it's doing the same thing that it did before. Is this more likely a bear flag and it's going to come unglued? More likely at this stage, of course. So we'll see how that plays out. Just a quick question to the room: is everyone okay? Are you keeping yourself under control? Are you under control of your decision making? Okay. No chasing. No taking risks that you can't handle. Market assassin, if the longs work, they work, right? I'm and King, yeah, good. I'm happy to see the number 7. That's good. Okay. It didn't break. It's given us a big bounce. The long would have worked for anyone who's in it. Amazing oversold bounce on that 1 minute bar. I'm not in yet. The earliest I could do it is at 755. I'm going to probably just wait it out till 780. If we're going to run up, one of the things we have to consider is into the Eurozone close. The market's obviously net short. If it's not going to sell down, a whole bunch of positions that are on the short side are going to cover, and it'll just give you a mechanical lift. It's not because people are buying. There's a squeeze. Brian. Oh, that was hilarious, Brian. Another Drebin quote. It's so simply, just wrong. The quote for folks who are asking is Frank Drebin, again, Naked Gun fans. You take a risk every time you stick your face in a fan. And you're right. That's I did want that bounce. You're absolutely right. 640-ish, I did, but I wasn't willing to take it at that stage. Probably because of exhaustion at this stage. If it's able to breach 780, we are probably going to be headed to 29,000. Bare minimum 925 to 950. It happens, Ted. It happens. Okay. Like this was going to be a bear flag. It didn't work. Is this a bull flag? Well, it's breaking up. My fingers on the trigger, getting ready for the entry potentially. But I certainly do not want to do it until we break that structure of resistance, which is the champion trend sell zone trail line. So breach it. I could take it on the breach. A break would require maybe a back test or a run up above it by a number of points that accounts for just random noise around levels, around structures. And on the NQ, the bare minimum I could say noise is about 35 points. So I'm going to try to take it on the breach. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to get my crosshairs right in the right spot. Fingers on the trigger. Have not depressed the button yet because I've seen this movie too many times. And OG Frank, I think that we actually can accelerate even before 900 breaches if the market gives that to us, right? This has been a story of a market that wants to go lower. Sorry, that wants to give us the oversold bounce. You had a bunch of shorts cover, okay, and then you just did not have follow-up buyers coming in because there's no good news, obviously, to push things up. But now mechanics start to set in as we move into the last 10, 20 minutes of the trade. If the market does not fall down and make lower lows, the remaining net short positioning the market overall is in is going to come undone. for the volume that has to come off the tape at 10:59 a.m. Eastern time. But if we're going to come down lower, they're going to hold it right to the end. Probably. I can try the short right here. I can wait for center of mass of the bear flag that failed at 660. I could wait for 640. And this is just not a high probability moment enough for me to want to make any decision on it. I'm just waiting. And Catamount, that's amazing, right? If you've been shorting every little pop, you've done well. I'm leaning to now a market that will come up if we breach 780 and shoot. But if we continue to get pressured lower, there's enough sellers that come into the mix here and break us to a lower low. We're headed down to sub 600. The trade that I want starting to materialize. 660 is one line, 640 is another. We just breached 660. And no dice. It wants to come back up. Let's see. Perhaps we get some clarity here. Okay. It's dipping its toes into the water. Maybe the pool is a little too cold. Doesn't want to get in yet. Okay, here we go, and no. And okay, there we go. I'm taking that acceleration down. We did come to a lower low. Let's see if we can unravel here. The alternative is whipsaw right back up, right? So be careful. I'm going to be prone to wanting to take profit sooner than later, assuming I even have it here. Right now I don't. So it dipped its toes below, it made a lower low, and it's not coming undone. And my indicator is still not moved into a sell on a 1-minute chart, which is obviously a concern. I'm out. Comes back down below the low, and there's the triangle. It's now coming on screen. It's flashing on. It flashed off. I want to see that down triangle in play. I want to know the soldiers have been sent by the generals to take the king and the queen down into the lower half of the channel. The soldiers are the red line, generals are the dash white line, the king and the queen's the blue line. If the soldiers have already talked to the generals, right? That intersection's happened. It's happened many a time here. But the king and the queen are still on their little victory tour, from the land that the soldiers conquered for them already. That already happened. That happened, at 944, 943. The rest of this journey has really been a victory tour of the king and the queen, that slow momentum line. But that can last only so long. And if you're confused as to what I'm talking about, I can explain that in the Q&A segment of our morning session in about 15 minutes. But right now, if I get that down triangle in play, the soldiers are headed down to the center of the channel to turn the king and the queen's caravan around and bring them back down into the safety of homeland, which is the lower half of this 4-quadrant channel. Okay, here it goes again, and there it's gone again. It's not breaking. And it becomes really important in the next few minutes for directionality into the end of the hour. So if we're not going to go lower, the net short positioning of the market will, for volume that comes off the tape at 11 a.m., will start to cover, and we'll get a mechanical lift. If we do make lower lows that are, like if we break 600, for example, they're just going to keep pressing on short until 1055, 1058, somewhere around there. Okay, triangle's in play. Now it's off. Right? If the math's not there, it's not going to stay on the bar. Okay, for those who are trading right now, let me know. Are you long or short? L or S? I'm trying a high risk long out of sheer impatience, I guess. No, I'm not seeing it break down. We've had plenty of opportunity for the sell signal to, take place on the triple S on a 1 minute chart. It hasn't. So I think we're going to eat into resistance. And I think the mechanics at the end of the hour, if we're not selling down, like if this reverses red, a dramatic reversal down, I obviously will get out of the way, or maybe even hit the reverse button, which I very rarely use. So lots of folks are saying they're sitting on the sidelines. The majority of the rest of the answer is short. I'm obviously on the other side of that, and I have to be careful because this can just come unglued. And if we go below the speed lines, I'd rather just get out of the way, let the market sort itself out. And sleepy trader, I like that. Your chill mode is going to become sleep mode. Well, that's kind of what we've been served up here, right? But let's see if this drops. I'm out. If we reverse back up again, the same mechanics are in play, right? If we make a lower low here, they'll probably gun it, down below 600. And I'm very close to wanting to jump into the short. I really would like to see the triple S indicator give me a sell signal on a 1 minute chart, and it's still not there. So nothing to do at this moment on the short side, unless you're in an existing short, it's still a hold. If the market's gonna not continue selling down and make lower lows, the closer we get to the end of the hour, mechanics set in, net short positioning of the market will unwind. There'll be a squeeze up, and that could be a trade. We're at 74.48 on the ES. We're getting very close to that danger line like we have been, 74.45. We just breached to a lower low. Triangles on bar, intra-bar. I can take the trade while the triangle's on intra-bar, but if it flashes off, I'm at risk. If we come up above the speed lines, which is roughly the high of the bar, I have to go away from the trade. Like that, I'm out. I'm not hopeful for a direction, right? I want to just see if I can get the follow through, and I'm not seeing follow through. It's I guess the best way to put it is whippy, right? Very indecisive. If it's going to break to the downside, give me that triangle. We got a breakout forecaster. We got the triangle. Okay. I'll trying it one more time in earnest. I want to see if we can come down and breach 600. And if we breach 600, I want to make sure that we all see, I better manage the trade, what the next location could be. I'll do that off screen. Below 600, 580 is the next line. And below 580, it's 550. Okay, we're at 610. It's still not whooshing here, but we are going lower during a critical window that will help forecast out the end of the hour. So they should stay on sells, but we're not seeing the sellers be very aggressive at this stage. And I'm still going to hold the short. Not going to build it. I've got a down triangle now. Got a couple of breakout forecasters. Fast speed line is spreading There's more air in between the fast and the slow speed lines. So all of that's good news for a short. There we go. There we go. I'm taking profit. Why am I taking profit? The level I just quoted to you, 580, below 600, we come down to 580. We came down to 580, almost. Okay, now can I take it below 580 to 550? I could. At some point, even though we are pushing down, in the last minute or two before the hour, there will have to be some short closures that happen. So there'll be a little mechanical pop. It might not be very eventful, but the volume that comes off the tape comes off the tape. It's net short. And at some point, there'll be a little exodus of shorts. But did anyone get that last short? Let me know. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear it. We spec'd it out, right? We identified the level that it would come down to. It came within, a half dozen points of that. And now we're getting a reversal back up, but that reversal is not yet broken any of the speed lines. It's not overturned the sell signal state. We still have just shy of 7 minutes to go before the end of the hour. If we come down and we break 80, I have a trade down to the exact number is 28,548, but let's just round it to 550. Happy to hear that, Donna, George, Suraj, Frank, Herth, Tom. Who else? Oh, wow. So many folks got that last trade. I'm scrolling up in the chat now and I'm seeing that. That's amazing. Hey, good on you, folks. Happy to hear that. Okay, I'm going to keep myself focused here and just keep looking to see. It would be nice to get a little mechanical short squeeze with the volume coming off the tape. That would be a nice little pop up, but we're headed the other way potentially. If we're coming down below 580, I'm willing to take the short below 580 to 550. We're coming down to it. We're breaching it. I'm taking the short. There's room down to 550 for this short. Let's see if we get gunned down there, and just be aware that there can be a whipsaw at any moment now as we get closer to the end of the hour. So you want to be very careful with any further short entries. I don't want to see that behavior, because at any given moment it can start whipsawing right back up, and it can skyrocket up because of short closures on the volume that's coming off the tape by 11 a.m. And for those that are holding their shorts, all the power to you. I'm flat right now because I know that the risks have grown dramatically to hold the short. It can still work out. It would be in the money if you took it at about 80-ish, but very slightly. And look, I don't want to set it up as if there's going to be some drama into the end of the hour. There could be. It could also just be a nothing burger, right? So don't sit there waiting for a dopamine hit of some sort. If it happens, it happens. Let's see if we can capitalize on it. Okay, we're getting very close to that time where shorts are going to have to start getting off the tape. And we could start seeing a mechanical squeeze up. I'm seeing some evidence of that here. I'm going to do a high risk entry on that basis. Okay. It's not aligned with indications and I can get my head handed to me. So I want to be very careful with that decision. Okay, coming into local resistance, breakout forecasters. We've tested the last, the second. Usually we'll test the third and the fourth last once the sell sequence ends. We've had an absence of one and the current bar without a breakout forecaster, but we've already had a bullish speed line cross. The predictable outcome is test the last, the second, third, and fourth last. 640. Maybe another 30 points, maybe more, don't know. The closer we get to the end of the hour, you've heard me say it already in advance. We're starting to see a little bit of it now. It's not dramatic, but it is a trade. And it can just come unglued at any time too, like that. So be very careful because it's contraindicated by the signals. And I'm taking my profit while I have it. I can re-enter the long again and try to, be in a trade for another, 30 seconds, minute or so above the high of the last closed 1 minute bar, which would be maybe a 20-point trade, maybe more. But we're now in the last minute and a half. This is where it should elect, right? The volume has to come off the tape in the next 30 seconds or so. If it's going to come off the tape and if it's actually short closures, it should whip up. But I'm not going to be in a long when my indicator is flipped back to a sell. I got right out of the way. The only place I could consider it again is above 620 on the long side. And then the obvious is another re-short below the low. And that would be the 580 to 550 trade. Okay, here we go again. And, at the hour change, it's very risky, but I'm trading with micros here, so I'm not going to do any real damage to any of the accounts. So I'm thinking of actually taking it, but I still want to see it breach the 620-ish area. And then we'll see how the hour conversion treats this market. Okay, getting closer to my line. Okay, less than 10 seconds to go. Okay, here we go. And was it eventful? No. Any real drama? No. The market is effectively telling me that it has gone to sleep and it needs to either roll over onto its front side and up we can go again, which is the less likely outcome. But there's not much more you can say. We're in a downtrending market that slowed down to the downside, but has come down and made lower lows. The ES is broken below 74.45, so it's confirmed short. NQ is broken down as well below the 600-ish marker. So there's not much. This was really the water line. So 650-ish, 660-ish, and we're underwater on that. So if it wants to go short and go lower, I can consider jumping in a trade right about here. Now we come back up above the fast speed line. I don't think I'd want to be in the trade anymore. We're making a lower low. Let's see if we actually get a whoosh down rather than just grinding. The ES is at 74.38. So it just went down 4 points. So all good there. Trades profit positive, but now marginally. And again, the role that I try to play is I try to find as many credible entries as I can. If I'm comfortable, I'll take them. And if one is just sitting net short in their positions and holding on to the trade, kudos to you. That's amazing. There's no sign yet to get out of it. Even that little pop-up that we had right over here was not dramatic. But right now my trade's out of the money and we're coming up to the speed lines. And if we breach the fast and slow speed line, I'm not going to stay in the trade. Great results, King. And Beth's just letting me know in the chat that White House press briefing is about to start. Some theater. Okay, I don't like the fact that it's just not whooshing, which is the nature, has been the nature of this market, all morning. I'm bugging out. I'm going to take a scratch there. Okay, folks, did you make it through the morning? So the way that I operate in this room, I've changed it up a little bit. Let you know that we're going to have 3 segments, right? So I do a segment where I give you a little intelligence briefing, a little pre-battle briefing. Then we do the live fire from 9:30 to 11, and then we do Q&A, and we can continue trading, of course, if applicable. We can then, of course, do administration, answer questions that you have, analytics on individual positions, all of that kind of stuff. So we're in that last segment right now. It still is sensible to remain short. It's just going to be, grind down, it seems. The next level that we're coming down to is at 550 likely. And I want to, plan this out for those on both sides. On the ES side and on the NQ side for you. So we're almost there. We're at 559, 58. It's continuing. So staying short does still make sense. On the NQ, below 550, where is it going? There's a little air here, right? Below 550, we could see a 50-point drop. Okay, I'd be interested in that trade. There's a little pocket in volume profile there that's very hollow. It'll act like a vacuum and suck price down towards roughly 500, just slightly sub 500. So if short's going to continue, or if one wants to reshort, or if one is adding to a short, there is the potential for a 50-point trade below 550. Okay, and it can materialize pretty quickly. What about on the ES? Let me just identify it for you on the ES as well. So below 36, we're headed to 28. Below 28, we can see an accelerative drop to the DeMark support 1 weekly pivot level. So 36 to 28, 28 to 06. That would be the range. Okay, so I want to just plan that out, just share that with folks. And I'll try the trade below 50. We're getting very close to it. I think we just breached it. I've taken it. It should be, it doesn't have to be, it should be a more accelerative drop that can take us down towards 500. Taking profit. And I think the next trade I'm going to try to do is going to be on the ES below 28. We're getting close to that, so I'll just pop that up on the screen. We're still not below, so no trade. But I've got my pre-trade conditioning sell pattern in play. Minimum of 3 signals separated by no more than 6 bars. And then we're left with a down signal. And this all happened below the channel already. And now we're getting the double red dots. So if this green bar is followed up, or if it implodes, or if it's followed up by a red bar that takes me below 29 even, I'm willing to take a short there. But at this stage, the market's not ready yet. So now I do want to make sure that you know that you have full opportunity to throw your questions into the chat now. If you put questions in earlier and I wasn't able to address them, that's not me ignoring you. It's me focusing on what I'm trying to deliver for you. So you feel free to ask questions now, and it'll be my pleasure to focus in on the chat, and more so than before. So John, I see you're asking, are those wealth levels? Those the levels that I've just identified for you are driven by volume profile. So it's an assessment of volume profile nodes. So I use the volume profile histogram on the left-hand side of the screen, which I've applied already at multiple cutoffs. And I'm looking for nodes, crests and valleys, if you will, convex and concave areas. But each time you get a little finger sticking out over there, that would be a node. Every time you get a hollow area, all right, that's that can become an inflection point. So we've effectively come to a node, right? 28 on this is the ES. That's why I said below 28, we probably have room to come down to 06. And these levels are 2 strategies. They're weekly pivot levels. They're DeMark and Fibbo, and they're superimposed on all of my time frames. Now you can actually pull this layout up yourself and directly use the colored way that I've got my pivot levels set up by simply going to the hamburger menu, top left-hand side of your screen, going over to where it says Layouts, Premium. Okay, and once you get there, okay, once you've gotten to the premium area, scroll down and find the layout that's called ZIAD's day and swing layout. Think about the layout as a house, and then think about the dashboards as rooms in the house. So you'll see a bunch of dashboards up top when you open up this layout. Okay, you'll want to find the dashboard that's labeled pivots. Okay, and then you can plop in whatever you want. And Peter, if you want good, robust learning on the pivot points, I have a video that will help you with learning there really well. So hamburger menu, education, Wealth Charts TV. So you get into the on-demand section on Wealth Charts. And it's very well curated. Scroll down to find or just identify the Wealth Charts Weekly Intensives folder or module. And in there, I think it was done in 2025, but it's all very relevant, is a video where, there it is. So it was done, looks like September the 2nd, 2025, how to use pivot points. So September the 2nd, 2025, that's the video to watch, and it will let you know. Now, both pivot strategies are employed for one reason. Machines use them. So I want to be very well aware of all of the lowest common denominator structures that I could be dealing with in the market. For those of you that are new that want to learn a little bit more about the champion trend pack, right? Where you hear me going, hey, we're in a sell signal state. Here's a champion cross, here's a champion trend. Go to the prop trader training module, and there's a video here by me right there where I literally go through it step by step, and I take you on the journey step by step on what are each of the individual indications, okay? How do they work as a team or in a sequence with each other? 3 stages, and then there's plenty of examples, and then I build on that with some of the other tools that you get with the Wealth Charts, with your Wealth Charts membership, and some of the exclusive tools that are there. So this literally is as a good guide for those who are last entry anyways. And here we are. So I said it's 500, 495 in that area. If we are going to continue to slip and go lower from here, where's the next level? That should be the next focus for me to provide insight to you. We've already got it dialed in on the ES, right? Below 28, we're on a journey down to probably 6. So 74.28 down to 74.06. It doesn't have to make a straight line down, but that would be the journey that we're on over there. And I did want to take a trade at 28. I might take one below 25 on the ES. I'll bring that up on screen if I get a chance to catch that. But again, I am going to do my best to continue answering the questions that have come in. That's the part of the morning session we're in right now. Okay, so let me turn my attention to the chat. How do you adjust volume profile parameters? That's fairly easy, Bill. Right click on the screen, drawing tools, measuring tools, volume profile. I'll just put a little dummy one in over here. Okay, so I've just put it in. Little gearbox pops up at the top middle of the screen. Okay, click that gearbox, and I've just adjusted my colors to suit my eye. I've gotten rid of the background, and get your bar count to 80 because that's the highest number of bars you can get with your volume profile. And then the size percentages, how far across the screen do you want it to be pulled? Okay, the short on the ES is starting to become real. So let me just bring that on the screen here. Okay, so I'm taking it. I'll manage it off screen, let you know how it goes. Right now, that, and one of the other things you can do, Bill, is you can just set it as default when you've got it done, so that each time you draw it, you're able to then, you don't have to adjust much, right? It's all done there for you. Okay, so I'm just going to remove that. And Cynthia, let me just read what you put in there. Cynthia, I vary my style, right? What I'm doing in the morning sessions right now is to account for the fact that we've got a large number of new folks joining in. So I want to be a little bit more, let's just say, conservative, because I don't know the nature of everyone that's in the room yet, and they don't know my nature yet either, right? So I want to be very, very careful, making sure that you get the insight, you get the trade idea, you get all of that stuff done. And then, of course, as we grow together, you'll see me go back to trading 5 minis at a time. So that's the answer to that question. And the pivot points are updated at the end of each week, John M. The pivot points are updated at the end of each week. Okay, so that's done at the end of each week. All right. And Alex, no, it's not. It's just a temporary phase that we're in. So no, it's not going away. So it's just a temporary phase. And I thank you for bearing with me on that. And Nathaniel, I don't have a specific video that, beyond what I've just shown you, right? You can watch the prop trader training module that I had up there. That will help. But there are a couple of other videos that might be useful. So I'll point you to them in Wealth Charts TV. Again, I'll just bring that up on the screen and go over to Wealth Charts Weekly Intensives. Okay. And there's a couple of videos that are probably good. So if you want learn a little bit more about the triple S indicator, there it is. That's a good one. How I approach the morning, that's a good one. How I approach the morning, right there is a good one. That's October the 14th of last year. Pivot points, as I was just sharing a moment ago. And there's a couple of other ones. I want to see if they're labeled. Yeah, how to use the tick tool. How do I use volume profile? Okay, that's another good one in there for you to potentially use. Oh, watch, sorry. And then the prop trader training module is the next go-to area that you can utilize. I also have detailed, well-curated segments on each individual part of the Champion Trend Pack Toolkit. So in this module here, Wealth Chart Accelerator classes or courses, okay, you click on that and you'll actually see videos that break out each one of the indications, like Champion Trend separately, Champion Cross separately, Wealth Signal, Spike 2.0. So there's a wealth of knowledge there, and they're well curated and labeled out for you to help you with your decision making and you know how each tool works. But they all come together in that prop trader training module if you want a you know consolidated view. So there's my answer there. Fuad, I'm happy to hear that. And let me just continue going through the chat here. There's lots of questions that have come in, so I'm trying to just address them as we are going to be coming to the end of our session shortly. Oh, Emily, that's a good question. So, you know, think about it as just absolute values. You know, if you're, so what Emily's asking about is, you know, what are the, let's just see if I can bring it up here. Yeah. Okay. So right here. So what are the values on the right-hand scale? What do they mean? It's relative, right? It's relative. You can think about it like people think about the RSI. 50 is balance, below 30 or 40 is oversold, above 60 or 70 it's overbought. You can think about it that way. That's probably a good way to think about it. But the actual values, what matters is the relative value. Where are we located? Typically, it'll work similar to that RSI concept. Typically, it'll work similar to that, where you're looking for a oversold state to be strong momentum to the downside if we've got the right configuration of the lines all sloping down and channel sloping down. But if we start to see the channel flattening out, or we start turning up, we're in the 40 area and we've got the triple S line turning up, it's breaking the fast momentum line. At this stage, you don't want to be in a short. That would be the idea. So for those that are concerned about those values, that's at least a brief answer. Let's see. Yes, the layout that I'm on right now. Absolutely. Bear with me for just a second here. Okay, so let's get that layout shared with you. So this layout involves having the triple S indicator. There's one that does not require you to own it. So I'll be happy to share it. Just give me a second to grab the layout code. So I'll just put it into the chat. Okay, and for those who are wondering, how do you import a layout? I've just put it into the chat. I'll put it into the chat, just make sure it's in there. Okay, all you do is copy the code. Once you've copied the code, if there's a period or anything at the end of the code, don't include it. But once you've copied the code, you can then just go to the hamburger menu. You can go to where it says layout menu. Okay, and then you can click on import layout and put the code in right over there and hit import, and the layout will pop up. So for this layout that's on screen here in dark mode, I have it set up. I'm just going to put that layout code right into your chat as well. And there it is for you. Okay. So hopefully that takes care of that. If you have more questions on that, feel free to bring them to me. No problem. So Naveed, you're asking about functionality. One of the things that you can do, functionality of execution, a great place for you to go is just to the live support room. So top right-hand side of the app, pop that open, bring it onto your dashboard, and ask the folks in that room. They'll show you exactly all of the types of orders that you can execute using wealth charts for your broker or your prop firm that you're working with. Okay, and they will take you through that in detail. It'll be better served for that time. And Jeff W. asks, ZIAD, why was 11 a.m. significant for closing shorts? Well, at 11 a.m., okay, you've got multiple strategies. You've got so many strategies that are being employed in the market at any given time. At 11 a.m., you have a bunch of market closures across the pond in the Eurozone. And volume naturally will come off the tape. You know, a portion of that volume is strictly day in force during the day only, right? And that short's working out for those who took it. You know, just be careful with it. Now, in any case, the volume that comes off the tape, if it's positioned short, in order to close those shorts, you have to buy to cover. So there's a mechanical move. If the market's positioned net long, that volume has to come off the tape. And it might not be significant enough. It wasn't clearly that significant this go around. But if the market was net long in its positioning, that has to come off the tape. And that means it has to be sold. So there's a bias to directionality based on the market's positioning into the 11 a.m. Eastern Time hour. Hope that makes sense. And Rajan, that's a good question. You know, big picture, where is the market really going to go? I will end the session on that. But let me just see if I can answer a couple of other questions that have come in. Okay, and then go from there. Oh, I'll be here tomorrow, Nathaniel. That's for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Once you've adjusted, and this is to who asked that question? Sayank, I think. But in any case, the question was, is it possible to change the template permanently because it reverts back? Just save the template, right? Save the template. So what I would suggest you do is save as, right? So simply go to the hamburger menu. Okay, go to the hamburger menu and go to layouts, right there, top left-hand side of the screen, and just go save as. And then the next, and you can set it as default as well, right? So when you're doing the save as, you can make it your default layout and elect that. So I'll just click the button, for example, and I can save and set it as default if I want to, right? And if you set it as default, it will open up like that, right? So that's up to you. So that's the way to affect a change on your layout and have it come up the way that you want to see it, okay? And questions are still coming in, so hang tight. And Ruth Ann, it depends on strategy, right? I can't say it can't be held overnight, a futures contract or not. It's just like anything else. In fact, with the futures market, you have the ability to have your pre-planned exit in play and ready to go, right? You have your pre-planned, you can have your stop in, and it can execute in the overnight session. So I'm not averse to it, right? That's my answer there. Ted G, I don't have an answer to your question. I apologize. Bob M, the code can't be copied even after refreshing browser. The way that I would do it is just take a screen cap of it, because for some reason, some folks are able to copy things out of the chat. Some folks aren't. So that's fine. Just take a screenshot of it and manually enter the characters. That's the best way to do it at this stage. I'm going to get some more layouts hard-coded into wealth charts under my name over the next few days, so it'll make it easier as well. But for now, that would be the quick and dirty way to get it done. And bear with me, I'm still delayed in the chat looking through. I think I've got most questions answered, but if there's something that I've missed, we can pick it back up tomorrow. And Bob, were you here when I pointed you to the video on pivot points? If you were here, great. You let me know. If not, the pivot template is accessible by going to the hamburger menu, going down to where it says premium layouts. Okay, premium layouts. Scroll down to where it says ZIAD's day and swing. Open up that layout, and in that layout, you will have dashboards, which are right up at the top. You'll have several. This layout only has one dashboard. Find the one that is labeled pivot points, and it will pop up. If you're looking for the video that teaches you a little bit more on how the pivot points work, go to the hamburger menu, go over to education, and go over to Wealth Charts TV, bring that on, and go to the folder that's labeled Wealth Charts Weekly Intensives. And in that folder, there is a video that was done late last year, I think, September, we said. We've just found it. Let's see if I can find it again here. Right there, how to use pivot points, September the 2nd. Okay, and that should take care of you. Now, I'm going to bring the session to a close with a view on where this market is going. So let's do that. Clearly, the last short worked out at 74.25 on the ES, and we're on a journey down to 74.06 on the ES. And with the NQ, we are on a journey down to, let's go and refresh that. I think I had it done up on I had it done up over here. So let's do that over here. So we've clearly seen no great result from earnings. We're clearly in a market that is in a risk-off tone. We got an oversold bounce to start the day. It kept acting like the skipping rock, where the bounces were shallower, and then finally submerged. Now, the question mark is, that Rajan asks where we're going. So I set that up at the beginning of the session this morning. I'm just going to repeat it. Okay, you go back and take a look at the long-term structure that we are in. The long-term structure that we're in, the center of that channel is a best fit line. It goes back to October of 2022. Okay, this is the structure that the market has been largely operating within and sometimes around. We're headed towards the center of that channel. And what I literally did at the beginning of the day was I said, look, that's a 2% drop from yesterday's close. From yesterday's close down to the center of that channel, which is 73.80. It's a 2% drop. We had about a 1.5% down at that point in time. We're now down 1.6%. Okay. As to what happens next, it will probably have a slowdown in the selling. That is almost a for sure thing into the 73.80 area. And it is also very likely that we're going to get some form of a bounce. It's at that point in time that I'll have to evaluate, because I think that that's going to happen sooner than later, obviously. We're obviously in a spot where we're going to be waiting for more earnings plays next week that may be eventful. But the idea is come down to the center of that channel for the ES, and that should then be the next evaluation moment. It's going to take gold and silver down with it. It's already done that. The dollar is going to get stronger. That's already happened. And all of those risk-off cues are all lined up. The next would be on the NQ. Where are we headed? We're headed down towards the center of its channel as well. Okay, and it's not that far away from it either. So it's the same long-term channel, top red band, bottom green band, center of the channel is here. And the danger line, okay, what you heard me say is, hey, if we end up breaking the 700-ish marker, we're open to a move down to 28,450. And below 450 is a bigger danger line, right? Coming down below the 450 area, 28,450, opens up downside risk, not just to the lows that we saw on June 9th, 10th, 11th, but down to the center of the channel. So around 28,000, 28,100, or 28,075 ish odd points. So effectively, this zone is being opened up. It doesn't have to be traversed and walked through today, We don't have really any good news coming out or scheduled good news coming out tomorrow or eventful data, right? So the way that I'm going to just simply say it is, even if we get another counter trend bounce during the day today, the eventual outcome now has been set to more likely come down to the 28,100 to 28,000 area for the NQ and down to 73.80 for the ES. Okay, counter trend bounces can happen frequently. Just look for shallower highs as your sign, and then you come down below submerge line. That right now we're in a counter trend bounce potentially that could take the ES up to back up to 74.27, 74.28. And if that so should happen, the expectation is in that territory, we're going to get batted back down again and still continue the journey, try to make it down to 74.06. The last short that you saw me take was at 74.25, and we came down to 74.11. Okay, and we are getting a little counter trend bounce right now that's not really done anything great. But there you have it, folks. That's the end of our time for this market morning. I will be on Wealth Charts at 12 p.m. Eastern time. You can go to the education section and live events section, and we'll be there. I hope that folks have enjoyed their market morning time with me today. I hope the trading went well for you. I see some great results from folks putting results in the chat. That's amazing. And I hope that you were able to learn and earn along the way. At a bare minimum, learn along the ride. And I look very much forward to being back here tomorrow morning with you to do it all over again. Thank you again for taking the time to be here with me. Appreciate all of the interplay. And yep, I'm going to be there at noon, Tom. I'm going to be on Wealth Charts at noon. So I better go get some grub in my belly so I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for you at that time. All right, folks. We'll see you at the next session. I hope you enjoyed this morning's session, and I look forward to doing these each day with you. And I hope that they continue to build our relationship and build your skills and acumen in markets. Bye for now, everyone.